Hey folks, I wanted to give you a run through of cutting a different kind of end dam. This time the end dam actually is doubled up. Now the cool thing about it being doubled up is one, it's really strong. The other thing is that the color of your trim actually shows up on the outside as well. The weird thing about this is that it actually wraps around the back side. Okay. So the other version, we said we're going to add an inch. So the same is true. We're going to end up making the side of the end dam an inch high. But the difference is that because it folds over on itself, we actually have to add 2 inches to the overall length. The neat thing is that the back side here, this ends up being flush with where we want it to end, whether it's with our trim or with our rough opening. So the overall finish length can be measured. You can actually hook on from one side to the other, but we will have to add on 2 inches as we're building this, okay? So let's start off by marking, okay, 1 inch, then 2 inch, and we're gonna square that up on the wall face, so the part that gets nailed to the back wall, and across the edge, the actual drip part that would go above your window or door. Okay, so you can see our lines here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to remove this whole rectangle. We're also going to remove the entire drip cap up to this point here. And then we are going to also measure up 1 inch here. And we're going to square that across. Okay, and the way that's going to work is we're actually going to miter this corner. Let me draw it and I'll get you a closer look at that. We're actually going to miter that corner kind of like the other trim was. So let's start by removing the material we need to remove. So we need to remove all of this. Okay. We also need to remove this back section. Okay. And the full front drip cap here, full 2 inch wide. Okay, so you can see that we have kind of a rectangle and a rectangle, 2 in a row. This is going to get bent over and double up the end. Again, that just kind of makes it stiffer, less likely to bend. Not that your drip cap is ever getting really pounded on, but it does make it a little bit stronger. So now that's doubled up, you can see it's kind of folded around the back side. Now what we want to do is we want to pre-crease this bend a little bit. If we had a pair of pliers that were on a 45-degree angle, we wouldn't have to pre-crease it because we could just put it right in the corner. Now I can kind of clamp right onto that line, and I really want to make sure my vice grips grab nice and tight to get a nice straight bend. I'm bending that straight up, and you can kind of see what's going on right now. That trim is just going around the back side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to really clamp that nice and tight. Okay. And if you're unable to get it tighter, you can always use a hammer. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it around the back side. I'm actually going to pinch it and fold it around the back. Okay, and now to get that nice and tight, I'm going to use my hammer. And if you happen to have a block of wood hanging around, you can also kind of form it around a block of wood. So I have it there. Make sure that's nice and tight. Okay, you can see that's the back side, there's the front. Now, like with the regular drip cap, this is quite sharp at the very end here. So what we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna wanna bend that over. Again, grab the corner. This isn't quite tight enough. I'm gonna just go a little tighter with the vice grips. Okay, bending the corner. Let's get the vice grips to really clamp down on that. Now the other good thing with hemming the end here, in this case, because this is doubled up, is that's going to be really hard for this to come apart because now that front corner has been bent and it's locking the two together. Okay, so just another way of doing it, guys. That's a very solid end dam, but the other version, the simpler version, totally works as well. Okay, all the best.